St. Mary's County, a very red area. We have a state senator here named Senator Steve Waugh, who is notoriously reclusive, notoriously rude to people and condescending to people. We, just a few weeks ago, sent him a letter signed by people in my group, the Southern Maryland People's Assembly, another indivisible group called Together We Will Southern Maryland, and several members of our branch of the NAACP, asking that he hold a town hall meeting or at least attend Delegate Deb Ray's town hall meeting coming up tomorrow. His response was that, you know, he gave a list of like 13 different ways that he makes himself available to the public. 3 were remotely compatible. The other 10 included things like he goes to Knights of Columbus meetings and the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the air show. So in response to that, a bunch of people sent in letters to the editor. Mine went in Wednesday, and then the editorial board of our local paper, the Enterprise, actually mentioned members of our delegation who aren't holding public appearances as well. So I posted that to his Facebook page. And he actually said, "Jacob, good to know you're the force behind the People's Assembly representing the socialist far left. As you obviously forgot, it's Delegate Deb Ray's event, so I would not be attending. As you are clearly ignorant of my own circumstances, I will be at PG Hospital at my father's bedside where I've been every day for the last week. Next time, show some common sense before you embarrass yourself." So this guy, in addition to being reclusive and condescending, is just showing an attitude toward nothing more than a call to be accountable and available. He's responding to that with an attitude of like complete hostility.
But Jacob, he's also showing another thing too, which it's the obvious one, but I want to point it out that he read that Facebook post, right? And he cared enough to respond in his own, manner, but that sort of pressure demanding accountability of elected officials works, that it does actually irk them that they are asked to do their job and represent the will of the people. So Jacob,
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was saying, well, that is encouraging, but it would also be nice to see the next step and actually do it, because it's one thing to respond with something akin to a comment on Breitbart, and it's another to actually show up in public and actually make himself accountable. Because, I mean, some of the public things that he said he went to that I said were remotely compatible with what we asked for, they were all things where he controls the conversation.
Of course.
He controls what it's about.
So, Jacob, in terms of, just in the short time we have left here, in terms of, so in my, the activism that I lead, and you can read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, and there's a lot of resources out there, but this is now, so you've got their attention, and the point of an action is the reaction, but now you escalate that, right? Like your demands, you made your demands, you know he heard your demands, he refused to listen and to say, okay, I will come to a forum. So now you can turn it up more, right? I know Indivisible Guide, indivisibleguide.com, they hold town halls without the electeds, and that is a way to do it. So there's an empty chair, and you call the media to that, and you really put the pressure on these elected officials to that you're going to continue to hold them to account. And, if they don't show up, that's going to become the story itself. So, Jacob, thank you so much for all of your activism and for calling in and sharing it. And I would just, say, don't be discouraged by the condescending response. Be encouraged that you're getting a response, that your activism is working because it's annoying him enough. Now you turn it up. And that is what we need to do. We just keep escalating and turning up the volume. You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. I'm Alex Lawson, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
We got more great show coming up on the Thom Hartmann Program.
Friends, almost a decade has passed since the 2008 financial crisis. The government regulators entrusted with overseeing the financial markets were obviously asleep at the wheel. As a result, trillions of dollars invested by hardworking Americans were lost. To fix the problem, over $12 trillion of new money was printed. However, the problem was never fixed. It was just papered over with new debt. In fact, as of today, no legislation has been passed to prevent this kind of financial meltdown from happening again. The next time we face this type of meltdown, and believe me, there will be a next time, you need to be prepared. You can start preparing by diversifying your financial portfolio with gold. Throughout history, gold has managed to survive every financial crisis, including the crisis of 2008. Call ITM today at 1-888-OWN-GOLD for a consultation with a precious metals expert and a free gold kit. They've helped tens of thousands of people buy gold and silver. Let them help you too. Call 1-888-OWN-GOLD. That's 1-888-OWN-GOLD. Now, even Science Magazine is getting in on the board game action. As you know, I'm a big fan of board games, and they're gaining in popularity. Recently, Science Magazine did a feature on one of my favorite new board games called Evolution: The Beginning. It's a great game that allows players to create their very own species and evolve them as the game goes on. What I love about Evolution: The Beginning is that it's easy to learn, and there's real science behind the game design. Heck, Nature, the Science Journal, even recommends it. Evolution: The Beginning is a perfect gift for every family. And if you're planning to get together with your kids over the next few weeks, I highly recommend you go get this game. The only place you can buy Evolution: The Beginning is at Target. And I understand it's on sale now for $5 off, just in time for Easter. So next time you're at Target, go to the games section and look for the box with the big dinosaur on the front. Evolution: The Beginning is a perfect gift for every family. Evolution: The Beginning, on sale now at Target for $5 off.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
The sports world mourning the loss of Dan Rooney, owner of the NFL's Pittsburgh Steelers, dead at the age of 84. Rooney also served as the U.S. ambassador to Ireland from 2009 into 2012. New York Giants star Eli Manning accused of selling fake football gear because he wanted to keep the real stuff for himself. Lawyers for a sports memorabilia dealer filed a racketeering suit accusing Manning and the Giants of ripping off sports memorabilia collectors. All 30 Major League Baseball teams in action today. Division rivalries continue in most series, while a weekend interleague matchup set between the Cards and Yankees in the Bronx. On the ice, 4 Game 2s in the Stanley Cup playoffs set for tonight. The NBA playoffs tip off tomorrow. The defending champion Cavaliers begin their postseason run at home against the Pacers. College hoops, North Carolina losing junior forward Justin Jackson to the NBA draft in late June. On the women's side, the NCAA's all-time leading scorer is the top pick in the WNBA draft. The San Antonio Stars selecting Washington guard Kelsey Plum, number 1 overall Thursday. That's sports. Jay Corwin, NBC News Radio.
Did you know that more than 100,000 people a day are downloading game apps? Mobile apps have become a normal part of everyday lives. Now there's a new exciting sports app that lets you play along with your favorite professional sports team in real time. With this fantastic app, you can predict the next play and even outguess your favorite team members. The more predictions you get correct, the more points you receive. Points can be exchanged for cool prizes, like your favorite jerseys, hats, airline tickets, sports tickets, even a new car. You can play this amazing sports app by yourself, with your friends, or even with a large group of fans from all over the world. This incredible sports app is called Fire Fan, and it's available right now. Check it out. Sign up today at www.freefirefanapp.com.
Breast cancer is many women's worst fear. However, experts have made great progress in treating cancer. If found early, breast cancer can often be cured. Self-exams and annual mammograms are the key, so schedule yours today. That's from America's Best Hydroponics and Garden Center at 641 West Palmdale and Palmdale Hydroponics at 3020 East Palmdale in the Pep Boys Shopping Center. They're the Antelope Valley's only hydroponic stores with over 3,000 products in stock, including lighting, nutrients, and growth systems. Call 661-266-3906 or visit one of their locations.
California's #1 volume GM dealer, Mark Christopher Auto Center, says keep your money in your pocket. And so they're offering you 0 down on a purchase or a lease as truck month continues. That means you'll get 0 down APR on up to 60 months plus $55,000 in rebates on selected models. Chevys, Buicks, GMC trucks, even Cadillacs. You'll find Mark Christopher Auto Center right on the 10 freeway in Ontario. Or you can go to markchristopher.com. Mark Christopher is California's #1 volume GM dealer. Family owned and doing things right since 1975. Remember, 0 down delivers at Mark Christopher Auto Center, Vineyard exit of Interstate 10 in Ontario.
This week on My Awesome Empire, a program about healing. The founding members of San Bernardino Generation Now, a community action group made up of some of the area's brightest college students. Poet Lydia Theon Ware-I shares how she made it from homelessness and mental illness to become a respected poet, and a poetic tribute to North Park Elementary.
This is KCAA.
Tom, and we are talking about local activism. We are talking right now. We are going to be joined by phone by Jocelyn Berry, who is the interim director of Progress Now Arizona. Jocelyn, thanks so much for joining us on the Thom Hartmann program.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to be on today.
So right before the break, we had a caller calling in about the local activism that he was taking part in Maryland and the pressure that he was bringing on a local elected official. And he was slightly disappointed because the local official responded in a very snarky manner on to a Facebook post of his. But I was pointing out, like, yes, that is, disappointing. You wanted him to have a town hall, and he just disregarded it. But also, it shows that activism works, and now you just escalate that because he's clearly hearing you and what you're demanding, and he is ignoring it. And this story is happening thousands or tens of thousands of times around the country right now. It is a very encouraging, it is the encouraging thing. It's the thing that gives me hope and makes me smile when I'm staring down news stories like, Donald Trump is the hand on the tiller when it comes to North Korea and things like that, is that the American people are more engaged now than I have seen them actually ever before. What does that look like down in Arizona?
Yeah, I think we're seeing something similar happening in Arizona. We've been a deep red state for a very long time, but I think that tide is changing. And I think it's definitely accelerated now that Trump has been in office, and we have seen how our Republican leaders have been treating the voters. Republican leaders like Jeff Flake and John McCain, all the way down to our state legislators who seem to have complete disregard for the voters and don't treat them with respect, ignore emails, ignore phone calls, and don't respect our voters. But I think people are awake now. We had a town hall last night in Mesa with Jeff Flake. He finally agreed to have one. He has been ignoring numerous calls from his constituents to hold one. He's been in the state. He's been meeting with, our Chamber of Commerce and special interests, but he was refusing to meet with voters. So, he finally had one last night. It was a immense, huge turnout of voters and constituents that were angry about health care, about internet privacy, about gun control, about Planned Parenthood, and it was a massive crowd. People were booing him. People were trying to get him to answer questions, and he answered them, but a lot of the times I think people felt demeaned and dismissed by him. He would just say, sorry, we don't agree, instead of actually maybe taking the time to listen to voters and changing his mind. I think he came in there, as Jeff Flake, who doesn't work for voters. He works for his special interests and his donors. So that was unfortunate, but just to see that immense crowd of people out there, active, engaged, wanting to be out there all night, that gives me a lot of hope as well.
And we're talking with Jocelyn Berry, the executive director of Progress Now Arizona. And I think that's progressnowarizona.com. Is that right?
Yes, that's it.
Or .org.
.org, yeah.
So everyone should check that out. And I want to tell you a little story. I was just down in Arizona, and we were doing these hands-off Medicare and Medicaid events, and it was me and John Bowser Bauman, who is also known as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, and we're doing these, and we're going around the country, and we were in Arizona. We were like, okay, well, let's go over to Jeff Flake's office, and there were we do these events with like a handful, actually like a room full of seniors, and then we'll get like a handful of activists to come with us to the office, and we'll go with them, right? They're the constituents, so we're just lending basically Bowser's celebrity to it, to the effort. But we get to Senator Flake's office, and we only had we had two residents, constituents with us. But we get there, and there was actually a dozen people outside his office already who were protesting about Trump care at the time, and keep his hands off Trump care. And they were there, and they're like, oh yeah, we're coming every day. We're just here. We're just here at his office, making sure that he sees us every single day. And I was like, that is fantastic. And so they were like, they came in with us, and we did deliver our message, vote no on a reconciliation bill that includes Medicare or Medicaid. And we got a news story out of it on radio. And I think, that town hall last night, he was dismissive. And I know that because I read about it in the news. And, that storyline is getting out there. People are demanding access, and the elected representatives have to actually go, and they have to do something. There's no way Flake wanted to do that. He had to. The stories were building up the pressure, and then the stories that come out of it are he's dismissive to his constituents. So, Jocelyn, what's next on this continuing to put pressure, not just on Jeff Flake? I know there's a lot of stuff happening in Arizona. What are the main issues that you're working on right now?
Yeah, so, our state legislature has been in session since January, and we've been really facing off on a coordinated attack from our governor and from our Arizona Chamber of Commerce on our ballot measure process. Arizona is one of the few states in the country that has this system. Voters, citizens can organize and put an issue that they care about on the ballot when their legislator refuses to do their job. So, in 2016, we successfully passed the Prop 206 minimum wage and paid sick leave measure. It was the highest vote-getting issue in the state. It even outperformed some candidates. And so people were really excited to successfully pass that in a state like Arizona. But some people weren't happy about it, like Governor Ducey and his donors, like the Chamber of Commerce and the Koch brothers. So they decided to pass a package of 6 bills in the legislature that try and belittle and essentially destroy our ballot measure process here in Arizona. So we've been fighting and organizing against those 6 bills. We were able to successfully kill 4 out of the 6 of them, but 3 of them look like they're going to pass. And these 3 bills, what they do is they allow people to fine up to $1,000 any ballot measure committee. They can subpoena people that volunteer to sign, get signatures for ballot measures by mail instead of by person, which makes it more difficult. And then it also makes citizen ballot measures apply to strict compliance rather than substantial. So that means a ballot measure can be thrown out on something as silly as a technicality as font size or margin. So we've been really trying to fight back against those attacks. We've seen that our legislature is not accountable to the people because we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of citizens from across the state calling, emailing, tweeting, Facebook messaging their constituents, their representatives in the legislature, telling them, please don't vote away my constitutional right to the ballot measure. And every single one of these Republican legislators have crumbled because the Chamber of Commerce has come in with their lobbyists and their fancy Brooks Brothers suits, twisted their arms and said, if you don't vote for these bills, we are going to come after you in the next election. And it's unfortunate to see that these legislators crumble at the sight of the chamber rather than standing strong and standing up for voters who say, please protect my rights. I want the ballot measure process to be protected.
And this is such a front line of the attack where you have, I mean, it's just so simple in this case. You have money power in the chamber who represent all the money interests and basically can, in the national chamber especially, they're just a giant launderer. They just wash the name off of the money. So then it's the chamber, but you don't know, oh, is that a pharma paid for effort, right? Like this is, we saw this in the fight for Obamacare. Huge amounts of money would come in and then it would just, the chamber was kind of the focal point, but it is just money power. And they lost, money power lost in Arizona to people power because of ballot measures. So instead of actually fighting, instead of, debating, they're going after changing the rules. They're going after trying to make it harder for people power to actually have a win. It's the same way that they go after voting, they restrict access to voting because they know that their bankrupt ideology, they can't win on their ideas, so they try to warp the playing field. And Jocelyn, how can people listening get involved? They can obviously go to progressnowarizona.org, but how else can people get involved? If they're in Arizona, what are the things that you think people should do right now to fight back against this? Obviously, everyone who voted to put money power above people power need to be held to account in the next election. What else can people do right now?
Well, I think we've been asking people to call Governor Ducey's office and tell them that they don't want to see that their constitutional rights to the ballot measure be taken away and attacked because, we've been hearing that Governor Ducey has been maybe behind the scenes pushing for these bills as well. So we're asking people to call his office and let them know that, if he signs these bills, there's going to be consequences in 2018 for his governor's race. We have David Garcia. He ran for school superintendent in 2014. He recently announced he is considering running for governor against Ducey. So we want to, have support for him. I think people are tired of being bullied by our governor and by our legislature. They don't feel heard. They don't feel respected. They feel that their voice doesn't matter and that the only people's voice does matter is lobbyists and special interests. So we're trying to get people active and pushing back against Governor Ducey because he's been a real bully for the people here.
Jocelyn Berry, the Executive Director of Progress Now Arizona, thank you so much for joining us on the Thom Hartmann program.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be on today.
So you're listening to the Thom Hartmann program. I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Tom, and we are going to be coming right back, taking your calls. And I want to talk about local activism. I want to talk about how we need to raise our voices now more than ever. And anything else you want to talk about, give us a call, 202-808-9925 on the Thom Hartmann program.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit ThomHartmann.com for audio and video archives.
Give us a call, 202-808-9925 on the Thom Hartmann program.
Sure, some surprises are cool. Parties. Gifts.
How did you know? I love it.
But at this point in life, your goal is to cut down on surprises. Between house, spouse, and job, you want to keep it simple. That's where Humana Dental comes in. Humana keeps it simple with plans starting at $17 a month. And anyone qualifies, regardless of age or pre-existing conditions. Humana. Simple? Yes. Surprises? No. Enroll today. Call 1-855-620-5857 for your free guide. Or go to signupforhumanadental.com. Again, plans start at just $17 a month and cover 2 cleanings and 2 checkups per year. Call 1-855-620-5857.
Insured by Humana Dental Insurance Company, Humana Insurance Company, The Dental Concern, Inc., Humana Insurance Company of New York, and Humana Health Benefit Plan of Louisiana, Inc. Waiting periods, limitations, and exclusions apply. Preventive Plus plans not available in Alaska, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. Rates vary by state and are subject to change.
Breast cancer is many women's worst fear. However, experts have made great progress in treating cancer. If found early, breast cancer can often be cured. Self-exams and annual mammograms are the key, so schedule yours today. That's from America's Best Hydroponics and Garden Center at 641 West Palmdale and Palmdale Hydroponics at 3020 East Palmdale in the Pep Boys Shopping Center. They're the Antelope Valley's only hydroponic stores with over 3,000 products in stock, including lighting, nutrients, and growth systems. Call 661-266-3906 or visit one of their locations.
Now, here's a new concept: digital network advertising, where businesses display your ad inside their building. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, your company is going to thrive with digital network advertising. Choose your marketing sites or jump on the DNA system and advertise with all participants. Your business ad or logo is rotated multiple times an hour inside local businesses where people will discover your company. Digital network advertising, DNA, a novel way to be seen and remembered. Digital network advertising with networks in Redlands and Yucaipa. Call in the 909 area 222-9293 for introductory pricing. That's 909-222-9293 for digital network advertising. One last time, digital network advertising, 909-222-9293.
It's time to wake up. Do you have questions about financial issues and are not sure who to trust or talk to? Do you want to improve your financial situation and would like more education, guidance, and clarity around what to do? Do you ever wonder how you can improve what you're doing financially? Are you a business owner who works incredibly hard for your business and wonder if your business can be doing more for you? I'm Daniel Choi, Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor and Certified Exit Planner. Join me every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. for the Financial Wake Up Show. Each week, I'll talk about essential things you need to know about anything related to your finances. I'll cover topics like how to save more money, paying off student loans and debt, how to make sense of your investments, are you on track for retirement, how to minimize your taxes, managing your real estate, how to make the most of your business, making sure you have the right types of insurances in place, and many more. That's Saturday mornings, 10 to 11 a.m. Wake up with me, Daniel Choi, as we unlock the financial abundance you have within you on KCAA, 1050 a.m. and 106.5 FM.
What is San Bernardino going to do with the Carousel Mall? Keep track of the mall development and more local news in the San Bernardino City News. Local sports, education, business, and entertainment news in print and online at sanbernardinocitynews.com.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you know where you are? Well, you've done it now. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station. So expect the unexpected.
Welcome back to the Tom Hartman program. I'm Alex Lawson, filling in for Tom Hartman, and I am going to just keep taking your calls. Samantha in Georgia. Samantha, you're on the line.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Hello? I'm good. This is my first time talking on the radio, so I'm not used to this. Sorry. So first I want to give a little bit of my backstory before I share my link. I currently attend the University of Georgia, which is a predominantly white institution, like PWI. I am a second year. I'm a computer systems engineer, and to me as a kid growing up, I saw very little representation of myself. And it was pretty discouraging with all that's going on right now, especially we're fighting against all the racism that's going on in our society. And I always found it really crucial for Black females especially to dominate the STEM field, because in my classroom, when I walk into my classroom, there's very little females, and especially very, very few females. And the one thing I remember, especially one quote that I always keep thinking of, is when Malcolm X once said how Black women are the most unappreciated women in America. And as a Black woman myself, is really true. And it's also really hard whenever people ask me about my major. You know what they say to me? They literally say to me in my face, "You don't look like an engineer." And they say, "Oh, well, that's something new. We wouldn't hear that." And I'm like, why is that an automatic reaction to when a black female says they're an engineer? Like, what does an engineer look like? White? Like, engineer comes in various skin tone and various genders. And to me, it's always so frustrating to me when people told me, "Oh, I can't be an engineer because I'm a black female." And it's also hard being a low-income student because people will think, "Oh, just get a job. You should work more." When I'm coming from a background where my parents are from Haiti with nothing but clothes on their backs. My dad's a bus driver. My mom cleans up after racist people who bite her and beat her up, and she can't do anything about it because she doesn't speak English that well, and that's the only job that my family can keep just to be able to pay off the mortgage. And currently, right now, being in school, it's really hard because basically all the money that I have to pay for school, I'm basically trying to do it myself because my parents can't help me at all, and they want to help me, but they can't. And
Samantha,
so
I think what you're doing right now is exactly what you have to continue to do. You have to be the story that you want to tell around the country, and so that the people who hear you talking right now, women of color who are maybe thinking about a career in sciences, in engineering, in mathematics, and maybe they've been told that they're not the right person for that career field, but then they listen to you and they listen to the fact that you're doing this. And, that is what you're talking about. The reason that people, and this is my opinion, but the reason that people say, you don't look like an engineer is entirely because of white supremacy, because of the structure these are institutional biases that exist in our country. But we can change them by changing the story that we tell, by holding up stories like your own. So I hope that what you're doing right now, that you're recognizing by calling in and telling your story, this is exactly how we change that.
Yeah, like the movie Hidden Figures, I know people love it, and people say, "Oh, it's so awesome." And I said, that's what I want to be. That's what I aspire to be. And so what I got inspired to do, a friend of mine, because I told them, my laptop broke, and it's so hard to get a new laptop. And my friend said, "You know what, make a You Caring page." So I did. And it is actually, people shared it a lot. The URL link, if you want to check it out, it's tinyurl.com/blackfem2017. And I'm just astonished by how many people have been trying to support me and trying to help me. And I'm trying to actually raise money to not only get a new laptop, but to also have expenses to cover for medicine and also for books, because I'm going to be open and honest with you, but I suffer anxiety and depression. And I'm suffering with a lot of things that it's hard for me to open up about, especially because, the mental health stigma is such a huge problem, especially.
It is a huge problem. Samantha, I just want to, we only have 45 seconds left in this segment.
Yeah. But for me, I want to be a figure to little black girls. I can look on the TV and say, "Oh, look, there's a girl like me out there doing great things. I can do this too." Like, I just want to help be a model for people. And I'm also just want to let everybody know about the campaign that I'm doing to just raise some funds. And I'm so sorry, I'm just so nervous about this, but
Samantha,
I just want to get the word out there.
What you're doing is what you're raising your voice. You're telling your story. You're holding yourself up as a role model. You're working to destigmatize mental health issues. Be proud of the fact that your bold initiative here is exactly the way we change the stories, so that nobody, no matter what they look like, no matter who they are, is told that they don't look like an engineer, because that is not how it works. So Samantha, thank you so much for sharing your story. You're listening to the Tom Hartman Program. I'm Alex Lawson, and we will be taking more of your calls right after this.
You're listening to Tom Hartman.
Tom Hartman here from the Tom Hartman Program. You all know my passion for living a healthy lifestyle, which includes clean eating. Super Beets is one of the most impressive functional foods I've ever seen. Why? Blood flow, blood flow, blood flow. Beets are loaded with dietary nitrates, which convert to nitric oxide in the body. Nitric oxide helps support healthy circulation and healthy blood pressure levels. Super Beets is the most convenient way to get these dietary nitrates to specifically help support healthy blood flow and circulation. Super Beets works 3 times faster to give you results you can feel. Plus, it tastes great. I take Super Beets every day. I can feel the energy and stamina it gives me within 20 minutes, and I want you to feel it too. Call 800-568-9889 or go to tomsbeets.com to get a 30-day supply free. Comes with your first order and is backed by a money-back guarantee. Also receive a free book, Beat the Odds, and free shipping on your entire order. You'll love the results you feel with your first free canister guaranteed or your money back. Call 800-568-9889. That's 800-568-9889 or go to tomsbeets.com. That's tomsbeets.com. Hi, friends. Tom Hartman here to remind you that it's your support of our show that keeps us on the air. Without you, there wouldn't be a Tom Hartman program. And now more than ever, it's crucial for you to show your progressive support. And one of the best ways to show your support is to sign up for Tomcast. That's our podcast. It's at tomhartman.com. Never miss another heated debate on healthcare, global climate change, or our economy. Never miss another one again. Plus, labor news, full Monty alerts, conservative alerts, and my personal favorite segment, Geeky Science, each and every week. But wait, there's more! As an added bonus with your Tomcast podcast subscription, you'll also get my best of the rest of the news, a daily 3-minute dose of what's going on in the world today that you can't afford to miss. So what are you waiting for? Get over to tomhartman.com today and sign up for your Tomcast now. Do it for yourself, or you can do it for a friend. Go to tomhartman.com to see just how easy it is. And thank you so much for all of your support.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Called additive manufacturing, but you probably already know it as 3D printing. Decades in the making, this technology is on the cusp of revolutionizing the way things get made. And not just printed chocolates or trinkets, but parts for big machines, from spaceships to airplanes you'll soon fly on. Aerospace is where this currently has the biggest application. Technavio forecasts that over the next few years, 3D printing will grow by more than 50% annually in that industry. Aerospace is metal manufacturer Arconic's biggest business. Using traditional methods, it takes up to 14 weeks to make a jet engine airfoil. Using 3D printing machines, Arconic says it now takes 9 hours. The process also uses less material, so parts are lighter and there's no waste. The reason Arconic is now printing plane parts for Airbus. But it isn't alone. Additive is a focus of every major manufacturer right now, from Boeing, which plans to put 3D printed parts in its 787 Dreamliners, to General Electric, which recently bought 2 3D printing companies. Morgan Brennan, CNBC.
It's called the Deep State. Barack Obama's most loyal aides still hold office, and they want to stop President Trump. Deep State was first revealed in the runaway New York Times bestseller, Big Agenda. David Horowitz's Big Agenda exposes Obama's government in exile and his shocking plan. Newsmax, Lou Dobbs, Ann Coulter all say you must read Big Agenda at bookstores everywhere, or check out our free offer. Call 800-NEWSMAX, 800-NEWSMAX, or go to bigagenda411.com. That's bigagenda411.com.
Do you have acne or even the occasional breakout? With prescription grade Proactive Plus, your acne can heal and you can prevent future breakouts. Try Proactive Plus 100% risk-free. Plus, get 2 free gifts and free shipping. Take it from me, Proactive really works. Get prescription grade Proactive Plus, their amazing skin purifying mask, and a second gift of your choice. Totally free and free shipping. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you don't pay a penny. Call now, 800-281-8770. 800-281-8770.
NBC News Radio, I'm Tom Roberts. The top American commander in Afghanistan says dropping the biggest bomb in the U.S. arsenal on ISIS yesterday was the right weapon used against the right target. Lisa Carter reports.
General John Nicholson also said there's no evidence of any civilian casualties. Afghan officials reported 36 ISIS fighters were killed and several underground tunnels destroyed by the mother of all bombs yesterday.
The Chinese foreign minister is urging the U.S. and North Korea to tone down their rhetoric before it reaches an irreversible and unmanageable stage. A U.S. aircraft carrier group is on its way to the Korean peninsula in an effort to persuade the North Korean regime not to conduct a nuclear weapons test. A man said to have sent an anti-government manifesto to President Trump is under arrest in southern Wisconsin. Sheriff Robert Spoden says Joseph Jakubowski was captured after a week-long manhunt.
During the course of this lengthy investigation, there were no injuries to the public, to law enforcement, or to the suspect himself.
Jakubowski is also accused of stealing weapons and ammo from a gun shop. The White House will no longer release visitor logs. The Trump administration says some names will be withheld in the interests of national security or for privacy concerns. There are the expected mixed reactions after former New England Patriot Aaron Hernandez was found not guilty of a 2012 double murder. Defense attorney Ronald Sullivan thanked the jury for their service following their verdict.
We are extraordinarily thankful to the jury for taking the care that they took and the consideration that they took to come to the only fair and just verdict that was available.
Hernandez was convicted of unlawful possession of a gun. He's already serving a life sentence for a separate murder. A former Baltimore Raven may be the reason Hall of Fame baseball player Rod Carew is still alive. The 71-year-old Carew had a heart transplant in December, receiving the organ donation from late Ravens tight end Conrad Ruland. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Hi, it's Chuck Devine in Snow Country. We have a powder day in April. And Easter weekend will be skiing packed powder for the most part since temperatures stay on the cool side. And Mammoth picked up another 8 inches of fresh snow, all 150 trails. That includes 17 Groom Black Diamonds at Mammoth, but lots of places to make fresh tracks, too. China Peak with 4 inches of fresh snow, while Bear Valley picked up 16 inches there on 57 powdery slopes, and they'll have live music on their sun deck on Saturday. Sugar Bowl picked up 15 inches of fresh snow on 2/3 of their terrain. Squaw Valley and Alpine Meadows both just got a half foot. It is light, soft powder, too, since temperatures were in the teens when snow was falling. Easter egg hunts on Sunday for both Squaw and Alpine Meadows. The finder of the golden egg wins a Tahoe Super